So when I was 24 years old, I was living at home with my parents and going to school for the third time and just really confused about my life. I had been living a party lifestyle where I dated a lot of guys. I was out at the bars. I decided that I needed to settle down. Since I was not interested in bar hopping anymore, I decided to try internet dating. I met a guy pretty quickly who lived in Minnesota, and we talked for a few months over the internet. So we spent a couple of nights together, and about a month later I found out I was pregnant. I wanted a way out. I didn't want to do this. If I have an abortion, I am done with this guy. I can move home, I can go on with my life, I can do whatever I want. I did threaten the birth father with that. Well, I think I'm just gonna have an abortion because I want to be done with this. I don't want to do this. And he started to cry. And I think that's probably what stopped me from going through with it. My dad raised me in a pro-life home. I didn't want to come home and lie, because that's what I would have done. I would have come home and lied. I would have said that it was a miscarriage. I wouldn't have told them, ever. And I kept it a secret until one morning I got up and I went to have some tea, and I quickly had to run to the bathroom to throw up. And my mom was home, and she asked me what was going on, and I just started to cry, and I said, I'm pregnant. She didn't have a whole lot to say, but she did say I had to tell my dad.
My reaction at the moment was amazingly calm, and it even surprised myself. These occasions are very rare, but I think that was a case when God Almighty interceded. We just hunkered down and supported Megan. Can you imagine the trauma that Megan would have lived with if I had blown up and condemned her and chastised her? I thank God that I didn't make it worse, because I could have made it much worse.
And for the first time in my life, I had to take responsibility for something. And before that, I didn't. My decision to place her for adoption happened probably 3 months into my pregnancy. I went and I sat and looked through 2 books this size of people who wanted to adopt a baby. I knew, though, when we were going through that book, who it was. The moment I saw Dee and Michael and their letter and their life on paper, I was like, that's them. She is so faithful. She told me her story about not being able to conceive a second child. She never judged me for what I was going through. She never made me feel bad. And I would say that that's probably the first time that I ever felt the love of God in my life, was through Dee. Kaylee is very firmly grounded in who she is and what her story is. She's doing great. She loves sports, she dances, she lives on a farm. She kind of has a fairy tale life. It's the life that I would want her to have if I would have raised her. God has just worked in our lives in amazing ways. We all believe that what the choice was the right choice, but we all also feel the pain of the separation from Kaylee.
Our hope is that she'll come to Colorado and go to the University of Colorado or some college here, so that we can at some point have a relationship. I am connected with her on Facebook, by the way, so I think it's kind of cool that once in a while she'll acknowledge a little note from me.
I think when you get pregnant in that type of situation, there's still going to be residual stuff. Having pregnancy consequences is something you will live with for the rest of your life, no matter your choice. You have to find the truth in your story, and the truth is that God turns it around for good, no matter what. It's so easy to love this little tiny baby who is just born, but what about the girl? What about loving the girl who comes in here and says, I'm pregnant, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do? She can hear the facts, she can hear Jesus. That's why Life Choices is important, because we love the girls who have the consequences, and they need to feel loved just as much as that baby needs to be loved.